with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Thursday, which means it is time for an after lunch bunch video. I'm going to do a quick refresh over here to be sure I'm actually speaking to human people and not, to myself. Hello, Becky. How are you? I hope you can hear me now. Well, it's going to do its thing where it takes forever to go live again. I thought it had fixed itself, but it doesn't appear to have done that. So let's see what we got here. Make sure I don't have some kind of weird thing on my screen. No, it says I'm live. I see 4 people on. Hopefully you can hear me. There we go. It just did its thing. So now I am live. I know that for sure. So our card today, first of all, thank y'all for joining me. And I hope you are ready for Christmas. I am ready enough that my dryer felt like this would be a good time to say, nope, I'm not going to actually dry things. In fact, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to give you a code that says call for service. If any one of you have ever met my husband or had any inkling about him, you know we did not call service. We called YouTube, we called Google, and we now have the washer and the dryer pulled out in the middle of the utility room with various parts and pieces off of it. So there's really no telling if I'll ever dry again. I don't know if I will ever dry again. But this too shall pass, and it will be Christmas a week from yesterday, dudes. It's really getting time. So, in the spirit of Christmas, I made a thank you card from the Ocean Friends, which means it has nothing at all to do with Christmas. This Ocean Friends is a new bundle. Actually, it's called the Friends of the Ocean Suite, and it's a new suite in the mini catalog. Hey, everybody, I appreciate you coming. Marva and Amy and Lynn and everybody, thank you so much. And it is anchored by, get it? See, anchored? It's kind of a ocean joke. Okay, it wasn't funny, but it's got the Ocean Friends as the basic bundle, and it's kind of fun. This is my favorite die, you know it is. But what's also very fun about it is the coordinating Friends of the Ocean DSP, which I've used several pieces of today. So you'll see I've made a bit of a mess of it, but it's very, very bright and fun. But more to the point, do y'all love? Oh, anybody need a Humble Home mask? More to the point, the dies in this set cut out lobsters in Calypso Coral and pumpkin pie, and also these cute little crabs. Now, I did not use them on my card today because they were a little too big, so I did some fussy cutting and I did some die cutting, but if you want these big guys, they are there and ready to be cut out. And I love when Stampin' Up! Makes dies that cut out DSP. I really, really do. All right, but let's look at this. It's very, very pretty. So you got pumpkin pie and Calypso Coral, and we've got some starfish, and we've got a piece with smaller crustaceans and fish. And I have done some fussy cutting of those because I like the fussy cut and I love these little guys. So I've cut them out. And you can see we've got some pretty designs on the back. And then you've got these pieces that have like this ombre from Berry Burst up to Calypso Coral / pumpkin pie. And it looks kind of wavy, and I've used it a couple of places too. So this is part of the suite. Not part of the suite, but something I also played with today is the new ombre pastel glimmer paper. So you get 6 sheets, 2 of each of these colors, and it ranges from balmy blue and lemon lime twist, and then berry burst to petal pink. And I've used a couple of those. So we've got some grass and a couple of starfish. Okay, so those are the papers we're using. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, I did also use, you know what? I basically used the entire Friends of the Ocean suite because part of it is the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. If you go like this, it doesn't look like waves, but if you go like this, it does look like waves. So there you go. And then I have the final piece of it, which is the Sunny Days. And I have got dog hair, dimensional covers. Oh my goodness. Wait, that's not a dog hair. That's a Mary hair. I'm shedding. What can I tell you? Got some Sunny Days glossy iridescent dots, and we're going to use those as well. Okay, Okay, now really, I'm gonna shut up and get started. I hate it when people yak for like 20 minutes at the beginning of a video, so I'm very, very sorry. All right, guys. Hey, everybody. You know what? I totally have been paying attention to what I was doing, so if you've asked me a question, please repeat it because I didn't see it. So let's go ahead and start. This is a Joy Fold card that we're gonna, I should show it to you. Joy Folds are one of my favorites because they're super, super easy and they give you a lot of real estate to display pretty DSP. And I do love this DSP, the Friends of the Ocean. It's got so much color and so much fun and so much movement, and we are going to play with all of it right now. All right, so let me put that aside so that you can kind of not pay attention to it. I'm going to get my paper trimmer out. Now, sometimes when I'm making a fun fold card, I will pull my score tool out, but the Joy Fold is so simple. There's nothing terribly complicated about it, and so I just use the trimmer because it's just as easy to have it. So our larger card base is Summer Splash. It is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, and I am just going to score it one time at 3 inches. And that's it for that piece. And then the small piece on the card front, which is really the, I guess it's the joy part of the Joy Fold. This is Lemon Lime Twist, 3 inches by 8 inches, and we're just going to score it in half at 4 inches. And that, as they say in some industry somewhere, is the extent of the fun folding. There's really not much more. The only hard piece about a fun fold, a Joy Fold, is making sure that you decorate the small card base correctly. And by correctly, I mean in the correct orientation. All right. So when you put a Joy Fold together, you have your smaller fold is the front of the Joy Fold, and then you have this little card base which goes like so. So as you can see, it opens opposite what you expect. So you got to keep your brain on swiveled on correctly so that when you adhere everything, you get it right. Okay? Yes, it is a bright card. That's because it's fun. Okay, so let's get started. I have a piece of basic white. Actually, let's go ahead and decorate the bigger card base first. So I took a piece of the DSP it's the lower portion of that DSP panel. So this one is the portion with the pumpkin pie. So it's the upper or the lower, depending on how you look at it. And I'm going to take some Calypso Coral. And not this one. There we go. They're in the stamp set. There are 2 bubble images, one with 2 bubbles and one with 3. And all I did was put both of them, can you see it? Both of them on my block at the same time, right next to each other. And I'm just going to stamp all over this piece. And I'm going to stamp in triangles. Okay, so I've got one here. This is a point of a triangle. Here's a point of a triangle. And I'm going to come down here with the point of a triangle, and I'm going to just kind of rotate my stamp each time I do it. So now I'm trying to explain, this is how you make things look random, because looking random is much harder than you think unless you have a plan to be random. So we're just going to do, this is a point, a point, a point. Now I'm going to take this as a point and this as a point and make another point here and just turn my stamp a little bit so it changes. Now I'm going to use this as a point and this as a point and put another one here. And then just keep repeating all over the panel. I know it seems counterintuitive to have to plan random, but you really kind of do, or you'll end up with weirdness. It'll be just like weirdness, and you'll be going, that doesn't look random at all. So I am totally covering this. You could do more or less if you wanted. You know me, I'm a more person. And you want to rotate those bubbles because I believe people's eyes, and I messed that one up, people's eyes can see patterns that you don't even realize are seeable. And then your brain doesn't go, oh gosh, there's an uncomfortable pattern. It just goes, there's something about that that's bothering me. It's like when I taught at Squadron Officer School, one of the things we taught people was to really, 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 there's really, really, really a point in checking your PowerPoint slides for mistakes. Because if you have a misspelling on a PowerPoint slide, I promise in an auditorium of 300, 250 of them will find that mistake, that misspelling, that wrong punctuation, and that's all they'll focus on. Their brain will just hyper focus on that, and then, you know, they don't pay attention to the marvelously wise words. All right. What was the point of what I was just saying? Does anybody remember at all? I don't know. Oh, it was about the randomness that you can't see, but you can see. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Are you guys thinking I'm making like nog? We'll be recovering from all the eggnog she'll be drinking. Oh God, I love eggnog so much. Which is why I never buy it or make it, because I will in fact drink it all. And it is, oh my God, the calorie level is just insane. Now, you'll notice I am not matting any of these. The way the card is made, it almost looks like it's matted, and it's also got so much cardstock already that if you mat it, it's going to weigh approximately 4.2 pounds, which the post office will love, but you won't. All right, so for this back panel, I've got a large piece of this beautiful, God, I love this DSP, I really do. When I first saw it, I thought, oh gosh, that's just so silly, but it's just fun, and it's cute, and it's pretty. So I'm using a lot of it, which you can do because you are going to cover it with your card base. Okay, so that's like a lot of wallpaper in polka dots, but once you put this in the center of it, it becomes much more manageable. Okay, so there is our card base. I do have one more piece for in here, and I am going to, let me see if I'm going to put the berry burst side up. And I didn't put any bubbles on this because I didn't think it needed it. I thought there was plenty going on the inside of this card. And so I didn't do that. So I'm just going to put that there like so. Okay. Now let's go ahead and make our little card front, because it's the fun part, right? We're going to take a piece of basic white. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my Calypso Coral again and a small blending brush. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is one of my, I have another Christmas one. I'll change to it next week. Which, speaking of next week, you may not see because I will not be doing any Zoom the Craft Rooms or any YouTube videos Monday through Friday of next week. So after today, we'll do Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then our next video time that we'll get together will be a week from Saturday at 7 p.m. So after Christmas, okay? And I'll kind of try to remember to post that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put some of this Calypso Coral down near the bottom of this piece of cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do this twice. So I'm going to put a little bit here now, and then I'm going to emboss it in the Soft Folds embossing folder. And then when I get back, I'm going to add a little more just to put a little more texture in it. So I'm going to emboss it. You want the printed side on the side of your design so that you get the embossing right. And if you didn't know, this line right here is a way to line up your cardstock inside the folder so that if you have a design that wants to be straight, you can get it straight. Okay, so if you line that up, you'll be good to go. This one is not so important, but it turns out I accidentally did that. I'll be right back. This is a 3D embossing folder, so you're going to use the base plate and then the embossing folder with the cardstock, and then the plate number 4, which is the dark gray specialty plate. And then this is what this looks like when it gets done. Fun, yeah? Okay. I want a little more depth, so I'm just going to come back and kind of, not really very hard, just a little bit to add some, so it looks more like, I don't know, like it's got a little bit of movement on it. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's all we're going to do there. And I'm going to kind of decorate this in place, but not in place, because it gets a little bit annoying trying to decorate when the card is popping up and down. So what I do is I just kind of place it in here. And here's a little safety tip for you. Anything that is on this card base can extend off of this edge and this edge a little bit so that it doesn't go past the large card base. But do not extend it any past this side, because if you do, every time you open that, you're going to bend whatever's there. So if I had put any of these across this edge, every time I bent it, I would bend my, or every time I opened this little card base, I would bend my grasses and things like that. And nobody wants bent grass. Don't let your grass get bent, okay? I'm just saying. So I'm going to kind of keep it handy so that I can put it in and out as I want it. And I'm also going to decorate this for a second. Well, I'll do it like this. Sometimes I'll decorate a card front off of the card, especially these little ones that get all poppy. Now Amy is sitting there laughing, going, "You should have just not folded it yet. If you had not folded it yet, like I taught you, you wouldn't be having that problem." And that's accurate. That's valid. It's valid. There's no way to get around it. So here's how I get around it. I'll take a block, a spare block, and just put it on that corner, and that holds it down just fine. So yeah, okay, gonna get a drink. I feel my throat giving it up. Okay, now let's talk ocean stuff. I made us a coral out of Summer Splash, and that is this big die right there, okay? And then I cut 3 large and 2 small of the grasses out of the lemon lime twist end of that beautiful ombre pastel glimmer paper, okay? Then I used this cute little guy that cuts 3 starfish at a pop, and I've cut out 3 berry bursts, regular cardstock, and then 3 petal pink glimmer from that same ombre pastel paper. Now, petal pink is not one of the listed colors in the Friends of the Ocean DSP. Doesn't matter. The ocean does not understand color palettes, so I decided it was glimmery and pretty. And then I did my squinting, and I held my tongue just right, and I did some fussy cutting. And I fussed out of the DSP. Remember I told you about that DSP with all the fun little guys in it? I cut out a seahorse, and I cut out a little Summer Splash pufferfish. Now this little guy, this one wasn't for the faint of heart. I'm just going to tell you, it was kind of a pain in the patoot, but it was good. I just kind of sat and did it while I was, you know, doing other things, listening, watching the TV, and I just kind of cut that out. Okay, so this little crab is in Berry Burst. And then I realized as I was looking through the DSP today, I had been looking for a clownfish. So I cut him out too. So I'm either going to use on this one I used a Berry Burst pufferfish. On this one, I'm either going to use the Summer Splash pufferfish or the Summer Splash clownfish. It's going to take me a second. You are not always right, Amy. You just occasionally, this time you got lucky. You know, even a blind squirrel occasionally finds a nut. Okay, so y'all tell me which one you want me to use. Clown or puffer? Clown or puffer? You can decide, and then when we get there, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to use some liquid glue on the back of the coral die. And I want it to kind of pop up at the top, okay? Because I'm going to nestle some fishes in there. And I think it makes it look more realistic, you know, as realistic as cardstock can look, if it's kind of moving around. Remember, I don't want to come on this side. This is where my fold is. So I'm going to put it mostly over here. And I don't mind, in fact, I kind of like it to extend past that edge, okay? And you can make your own decision about whether you want the bottom to extend past your card front down onto the card base or not. Up to you entirely, all up to you. And then we're going to stick some of these grass guys back in here, like so. And I'm going to use liquid glue for them. Again, just at the base, letting them pop up. I may go back after I get it all built and put a little bit of it, put it down a little bit. But I don't need to right now. And by that I meant adhere some of the top down. But right now I kind of want it up because I can get a little more movement with it, and I can also tuck other pieces in and amongst. In and amongst is good, okay? So, did I know how to put all of these when I first made this card? Of course not. But this way I am able to, I know what it is because I've already done it. Now look, I made this long one, 3 big ones and 2 smalls, but I want this one to be a little shorter, so I'm just going to lop off the end. I'm going to lop off the end when I see where my scissors went. I'm just going to lop it right there. All right? Because I don't want it to be as tall. You want them to kind of wave around in different heights, right? There we go. And then I'm going to put another little one in right about there. Also, my own personal design pet peeve is being able to see the ends of stuff. I don't like to see the bottom end. I want it to look like it's all kind of organically coming out from a center area, all right? So I'm kind of careful about that. Now, I need a 5th one because there's an odd number there, and I don't like that. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and I'm going to leave that right there to see if I want to put it there when I get ready. And until then, I'm not going to do anything with it. Okay? So now, Twizzlers, where are you? What about a puffy clown? Well, if he would eat more sugar cookies like I have been, he would get puffy really quick. All right, I'm hearing clown. I think I agree. I agree. It needs to be a clown. I'm going to tuck my little seahorse right there, like that. And I'm going to pull this just a little bit that way and let his little nose come right in front. There we go. He's lurking. I think that's what seahorses do. They lurk a little bit. Okay. All right. And I heard that clownfish is the way to go. So we're going to put the clownfish like that. Does that make sense to you guys? I like it. I think we'll dip him down just a little bit. I want to be able to see part of his little body, and I want to see his eyeball. So I'm going to push him down so that he's playing in that coral, because they like coral and anemones. It says officially an anemone now. There we go. Like that. Perfect. It's so cute. I just love that little guy. Okay, now, before I put any other embellishments on, how about if we make a sentiment? Oh, yuck. Oh, yuck? A puffy clown? Carol, I need to know what oh, yuck is. Maybe a puffy clown? Was that yuck? I'm going to need to know. Inquiring minds need to know what oh, yuck was. Yeah. Oh, Carol, I hope you mean oh, yuck, New Jersey, but maybe you mean Georgia. I don't know. Share. Okay. So I have a 3/4 inch wide piece of basic white cardstock, and I am going to stamp our sentiment in a Betty Burst. Betty Burst. It is, oh, look at that. That is a dimensional cover that was going to be in my way. All right, let me be sure I've got it stamping well. Yes. And I'm going to stamp it near an end. Like that. And then I'm going to close this up. Yes, we did used to live closer. And it was fun. But we get to see each other at events and at our retreat and things like that. Okay, so I'm going to just snip a banner end in here by going up a little ways. Let's say that is probably an 1/8, maybe 1/4 inch, a little bit shy. So I'm just cutting the center up about 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to cut from the corner to the little nip, and then from the corner to the little nip, like that. Okay. Now, on my sample, I did make a banner end in there, and then I covered it with a crab, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to set it on my card front. Remember, I don't want to go past that edge. And I know I need a little space here so that my crab can fit like that. And again, I don't want to see it, so I'm going to cut it right about there. That is exactly how measured I did, okay? So now let's go ahead and adhere that with my dimensionals that I was going to cut more of and then did not. So let me find my secret stash. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to put a couple of 3-dimensionals right on here and lift the little lids up. And this guy is not hooked down because I was waiting on him. And then I'm going to put him in place. And I'm gonna make sure I'm not even close to the edge. Okay, just like that. All right. And I can feel that's a little bit wonky there, so I'll slide another dimensional in. Like that. Okay. And now we're really just decorating, okay? So I'm going to put this little guy right here, and I'm going to put, he's going to go with dimensionals so that he's supported against that sentiment. This little crab was so worth the fussy cutting. It really was. At least it was for me. I just think he's darling fussy cut like that. I love him. I love it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Okay, I'm going to put that right there like that. Yeah. She can still bug me online. That is very true. That is very true. Okay, so there's him. Okay, I've got all my little pieces, and I'm not going to put that puffer fish on because that would be 4 things, and that would be not right. So now I'm just going to start adhering my little starfishes. And I don't know if starfishes ever hang on grass, but these are. So, you know, there you go. If you want it to be realistic, it's cardstock, people. It's just really cardstock. Okay, and then we'll get the little berry burst guys on there. I love these little guys. Do you see the cute little holes that the die puts in there? So cute, so cute. All right, now I'm going to put liquid glue on the back of this guy because I want him right there like that on that piece. And we'll put this guy right here. Like that. And then I don't know why a starfish would be on a crab, but this is one of those rude starfish, and so there he is. All right. And then I'm going to take some of the Summer Splash Sunny Days dots, and we're just going to make them look like bubbles. Like this. And you get 2 sizes, large and small, and I'm using the small. And I'm going to use an odd number. Duh. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's see, we'll put one more small down here like that. And there's our little card front. Okay. Now, before I put that inside, let me go ahead and quick do an inner liner. And I'm going to get my envelope out because we're going to be all efficient and stuff because I'm pushing you a little bit on time today. Now, I am going to stamp the cute little coral stamp image in the bottom corner. Let me clean that a little bit because it's a mess. I'm going to stamp it down here like that. And I'll do the same on the envelope. Be sure I'm in the right corner. There we go. Like that. And then there's a grass image that I am going to stamp a couple of times in Lemon Lime Twist. Like that. Alrighty. And you can kind of vary the height a little bit to make it a little more fun. And then I will stick my finger right in my ink pad. Nice. And I'm going to take that bubble image again and just go 1. Did you see me turn it? I turned it 2, like that. Same for here. 1, 2. And then we can assemble and we will be done, Ski. Thank you, Carol. I loved how it turned out. I know that's a little bit self-aggrandizing and I'm sorry about that, but it's all because of how cute this suite is. Friends of the Ocean suite. Okay, now here's the last place where you can screw up. Well, I mean, I have several more places I could screw up, but you want to be sure that you put it, your brain wants it to go here, right? But no, it's going to go over here. So that's the last place it can go. And then because I loved it and I wanted to, and it's my card, and you don't have to put this on if you don't want to, but I wanted to. So I put this little piece right here. Because I am in love with this DSP. All right, now to assemble your joy fold, don't get all hit up with this panel. Don't even worry about that panel. Take and put some liquid glue or Stampin' Seal, whichever makes you happier, on the back of your card. And just put it right in the center of the back panel, okay? It's just math and geometry. If you put it right in the middle of the back panel, it's automatically going to work with that flap, okay? Perfect, and done. So now let me put my last little bit of DSP. I did manage to get a little bit of ink right there, but I'm going to let that be blamed on the post office because that's how I roll, and they just sometimes get pink stuff on your envelopes. Nobody's going to know the difference. By the time they've stepped on it and drug it through the post office floor, nobody will ever know there was a little dab of berry burst right there. Can you tell I love this paper? Yes, I've used it a lot on this one card. Look at that. That's going to bug me, but I'm going to get over it. All right, world's easiest fussy cut. Real quick like a bunny. You got to love a joy fold. Super, super easy, but it is a fun fold, and so that means it's got a wow factor. So there's that version. Here's Mr. Berry Burst Pufferfish version. I love them both, but the good news is there's so many little denizens of the sea in that paper. You can pick any of them. Now, if you decide to fussy cut any of the squid or the octopuses or the jellyfishes, more power to you, baby, because I had to say nope. As bad as I would love to use them, I just can't. So there you go, guys. Friends of the Ocean suite with the Ocean Friends bundle and the Soft Waves and the Friends of the Ocean DSP. I think you're going to love it. 7 January, you'll be able to get it. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Get all those things done you need to do, and that you'll have time to join me again on Saturday, okay? See you Saturday night, guys. Thank you. Bye.